Morning, everyone. In the previous class, we were discussing about the how we can calculate the capacitances at node Q and Q bar. So we calculated like the total capacitances or the parasitic capacitance at node Q, and that will be calculated based on the activation, like which of the transistor is activated, and based on that we have calculated these particular capacitances. Similarly, we can also calculate like if we try to calculate these the capacitances at the another storage node, which is we have like C Q bar. Okay, so if I want to calculate the capacitance at CQ bar, then simply we need to check which of the transistors are activated in that case, right? So simply like in that case, the total capacity, just like what we have done for the first one, we need to calculate it for the second one as well. And that will be like CGB3. Okay, and because this Q complement will be activated here, we are interested to calculate the lumped capacitances at this node CQB. So this will be the first component. The second component could be like CGB7. Then the third component could be like CDB1. This is similar to the first expression, right? So we don't need to go into that much detail again. So CDB2, CDB5. Yeah, so plus CSB5 plus CDB6. So these are some of the components which are available if I want to calculate the lumped capacitances at node Q complement. Okay. Now the important thing is, because suppose I am changing the logic from one state to another state. Uh, for example, if I have changed set and reset, accordingly this Q and Q complement will change. Okay, so the Q and Q complement, the change in at the Q and Q complement, that completely depends on what kind of inputs we have provided at set and reset values. Okay, uh, if we see the set and reset values, like suppose let us assume I have set the value, and in that case I'm assuming that if I have set, so this ground will be transferred to the Q bar, and this Q bar will become 0. Okay, and similarly, if I have activated the reset one, so in that case M4 will be activated, so Q will become 0. So similarly, because what is the logic at Q and Q bar, that completely depends on what is the set and reset values. Now the important thing is, like uh, if I have a previous state at any of this at this storage node, either at Q or Q bar, like let us assume initially the Q bar was at 0, and uh, like initially at that, what it means, it means that we have provided S is equal to 1. Okay, so if I have provided S is equal to 1, in that case Q bar will be 0 and the Q will become 1, because I have provided the reset is equal to 0. So but what happens if I am changing the logic from 1 0 to 0 1? Okay, in that case what will happen, I'm assuming that if I have applied this reset at logic 1, in that, and the set at logic 0, in that case, because this reset is at logic 1, this transistor M4 will be activated, and this M4 will be activated. What it means that this Q will change its state from 1 to 0. Okay, so this Q will change its state. So simply important thing is like currently if you see I have a two NOR gate structure. One NOR gate is here and another NOR gate is here. Okay, and based on the state like 0 1 and 1 0, here we are considering because total possible combination could be 4 like 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. We are not considering 0 0 because 0 0 will give like it will give the previous value whatever it has. So I'm not interested in that one. I just wanted to make the switching, make the transition from one state to another state, and I will not consider 1 1 because this is not desirable condition. Okay, so the only two possible combination left, either set is equal to 0 and reset is equal to 1 and the vice versa. Okay, so initially I thought that like we have provided set is equal to 1 and reset is equal to 0, and accordingly we have checked the operation of NOR gates, right? So here we have a NOR gates. One more thing, because yeah, before I extend my analysis, I just wanted to tell you, like suppose initially if set is equal to 0 and reset is set is equal to 1 and the reset is equal to 0, in this case what is happening? It is happening like because set is equal to 1, this transistor 1 is activated, and if this transistor 1 is activated, this Q bar node capacitances will be discharged through this transistor M1. Okay, so if we clearly see, like let us assume this is nothing but this is the R1, and let us assume this is R2. Okay, so if set is equal to 0 and the set is equal to 1 and the reset is equal to 0, in that case this node whatever the voltage at this Q bar will be, okay, that Q bar will be, yeah, this is the output voltage of this NOR gate, right? Simply this is nothing but this is the Q bar is the output voltage. So this Q bar will be discharged through this transistor M1. So we'll say that like if S is equal to 1 and reset is equal to 0, in that case I need to observe T P H L for OR gate 1. Okay, so if S is equal to 1 and reset is equal to 0, in that case I need to observe TPHL, because in this case, like whatever we have provided, S is equal to 1 and R is equal to 0, this M1 is going to be activated and this is going to discharge this capacitance CQ. Okay, this output capacitance. Okay, CQ bar. Okay, so CQ bar is going to be discharged. Okay, and if it is getting discharged, so that this will be the TPHL, and because of this R1. Okay, now similarly if we see, if this is the case, what I have to consider, I have to simply consider like because this R1 output is getting discharged, and if it is getting discharged, it will force to charge this one. So I need to consider another thing, which is the TPLH, because this Q bar will, this is going to discharge, so this will activate transistor M7, and if it is activating transistor M7 and M8 is already in active state, so this M8 and M7 both transistor will be activated, and this node Q will be charged through transistor M7 and M8. So in that case, because we are charging from low to high, so the TPLH for R2 I need to consider. Okay, why I am doing like this? I'm just doing this because I just wanted to calculate how if I'm calculating the delay in particular state. Let us assume I just wanted to calculate the delay after setting S is equal to 0 and reset S is equal to 1 and reset R is equal to 0. In that case, these two components will be responsible in the transition. Similarly, if I'm considering yeah, so if you see this one, S is equal to 1 and R is equal to 0, what it means? It means that simply we are, yeah, so let me write this expression properly. This is nothing but uh,
Hello, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, can you explain that? Means I'm not understanding this equation. TPHL or one plus. Like I understand the Q bar will discharge, but the other term.
Okay, let me explain it. Okay, so because let us assume I have provided s is equal to 1 and r is equal to 0. Okay, so if s is equal to 1 and r is equal to 0, initially let us assume, I'm assuming that initially the condition was different, and because I just wanted to make the change, state change. Okay, so suppose I'm putting s is equal to 0 and r is equal to 1. What it means? It means that uh, this s is equal to 1 and r is equal to 0, that s is equal to 1 will activate this transistor M1. Okay, if this transistor M1 is activated, and because r is equal to 0, so this r is equal to 0, that will activate transistor M8. So M1 and M8 will be activated. Now if M1 is activated, and I'm assuming there is some charge which is stored at node Q bar, so that will be discharged. So because we have a 2 OR structure, R1 this one, and we have R2 this one. Okay, we have connected these two or back to back. So in that case, let us assume this capacitor or the load capacitance at Q bar is a charge. Initially, it is pre-charged state. Okay, so what you know, once it is activated, like S is equal to 1 will be there, then it will get path to discharge. So this capacitor at Q bar, which is the CQ bar, that will be discharged through this transistor M1. And if it is discharging, means it will take some time, and if it will take some time, then we are saying that time is TPHL or 1. Okay, so this is the TPHL or 1. Similarly, because we are discharging this capacitor CQ bar, and at the same time we are charging this capacitor CQ, so there will be a charging component, because see here, because CQ bar, this Q bar is discharging, CQ bar is discharging, so this will become 0. And if this will become 0, this will try to activate transistor M7. And once the logic is changed from high to low at this Q bar, this will activate transistor M7. Now it will get full path, like from VDD to the Q, to charge this capacitor CQ. Okay, and so this is what the charging will be there. So if it is charging, then this will be nothing but TPLH for R2. So this low to high transition is possible from R2. That is why we are writing here R2, TPLH R2. Answer is clear or any doubt?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
Okay, fine. So what we are doing, because if you see here, uh, if our state is something like this, s is equal to 1, so what we are doing, we are simply doing like, we are discharging this Q bar, and we are trying to charge this Q. Okay, so the Q will become 1 and Q bar will become 0. Okay, so if Q will become 1, what it means, we are calculating the rise time, because we always refer Q node. Okay, so this, what we can say, T rise time at Q of SR latch is same as, this is the component of two things, T rise, yeah, I'm just writing this R1 and R2 expression in other way, T rise for Q of NOR. This is not R, this is NOR, right? So sorry, I just made a mistake. This is NOR. Q for Which one? Can anyone tell me? This is NOR 1 or NOR 2?
Sir, nor one.
NOR
Sorry,
1.
not two, not two.
NOR 2, yes, because we are charging NOR 2, the like output capacitance NOR 2. Yes, so this will be NOR 2 and plus T fall at Q bar, and we'll consider NOR. Okay. So yeah, this is how we can calculate the thing. Similarly, like you can calculate for the another case, if I'm changing its state from 10 to 01, then you can calculate the rise time. Okay. So yeah, I'm just leaving it, you can calculate it. So these are the components how we can calculate the rise time in the fall time. Now, suppose I want to make a clocked SR latch. Okay, if I want to make a clocked SR latch, we know that we need to add two AND gate, and the input of both the AND gate will be tied with one of the signal, which we call it clock, and the set and resets are just like before. In output of both the AND gates will be connected to the inputs of one of the NOR gates. Okay, so this is the simple structure of the clocked SR latch, which we know that. Okay, if we see here, if we try to design a circuit, then how we can design the circuit, CMOS based circuit of this clock SR. Okay, so to design the CMOS based circuit for the clocked SR, what I need to do, I need to implement a logic for AND gate. I need to implement a logic for two input NOR gate, and the output of this one is connected to this one. So here, if we see, this input set is the function, like it will be implemented through a AND gate. One of the input will be like clock, and one of the input will be set or reset, and then the output, this output will be connected to the two input NOR gate. So let us try to design it properly. If you see this one, this particular logic will give the output something like that one only. Okay, if you see here we have a two input NOR gate. Okay, so if I have a two input NOR gate, what it means, these two transistor is needed in the pull up network, and these two transistor is needed in the pull down network. Okay, now if we see here, because this input, whatever the input we have provided, like set in the previous circuit, this set is not only the function of directly, it is not connected, it is also the function of clock. So it depends on the clock signal as well. And if it depends on the clock signal as well, means what it means, it means that if clock is equal to 1, then this S will be transferred, otherwise this S will not be transferred at this node. Okay, so if it is like that, this is nothing but this is the end kind of arrangement. So here we can form a end kind of arrangement like this. So this is nothing but this is the clock and this is the set input. Okay, and similarly, if it is in the series with S, so here in the pull-up network, I need to put into the parallel. So this is how we can make the clock and the set input. Okay, let me repeat it again, what I just made, what I'm explaining. We know that if I want to make a simple, this one, OR gate. Okay, so for OR gate, if we see, just forget this transistor. Okay, so in the pull-up network, we will be having two transistors which will be in the series. Okay, so this is the series transistor, and we know that in the parallel, these both the transistors will be in the parallel one in the pull down network. So let us consider these two transistors are giving the NOR kind of function. Okay, so these are giving NOR kind of function, but the important thing, whatever the set input we have in the previous circuit, that set input now is the function of clock. Like this set will not directly be transferred, it will be activated through this clock. So if clock is equal to 1, or if clock is activated, then this state will be transferred. Okay, so this kind of approach is known as logical masking. Okay, we call it the logical masking. Why logical masking? See here, if clock is equal to 1, in that case this set will be transferred to the output of this AND gate. But if clock is equal to 0, if this clock is equal to 0, in that case, even though there is some change in the set, that change will not be reflected at the output. So logically we have masked the input. Okay, so later on, like not in this semester, but when I will teach about the reliability and other things in some other subjects, then I will talk about what this logical masking is and how these logical maskings are really important. Okay, especially in the reliable system designs. Okay, so this kind of concept is known as a logical masking. Now the thing is, like if I have provided logic 0, in that case this will not be transferred. But if I have provided 1, clock is equal to 1, then it will be transferred. So yeah, so if this is in the AND kind of a structure, so for AND structure I need to connect two transistors in the series here. So one is the set and second one is the clock one. So this is the simple structure of one-sided. Like if I try to break this circuit in half the portion, something like this, then this is how we can create it. Okay, second thing what we can do, we can simply replicate it for the bottom half part. Okay, so to replicate the bottom half part, we can just simply do like this. Okay, and if you see here, let me clear this slide first. And okay, so if you see here, so yeah, this is what we have replicated, both the sections, upper and lower part, and then we got the structure something like this. Now I need to connect. What I need to connect? Output of one of the NOR gate will be connected to the input of another NOR gate, right? So yeah, here we have the output and input connections, how we can make it. Now let us try to label the things where we have, if we see here, the clock pulse is nothing but this is the input of both the additional transistors which we have placed in parallel of pull-up networks, right? So this is nothing but the clock one. So yeah, these are the transistors. This if I'm considering this M2 and M6 are the input signals, then definitely this M1 and M5 will treat as a clock one. Similarly, M9 and M11 will be treated as a clock one. Okay, in the pull up and the pull down network respectively. Okay, so if I try to connect this one, so this M9 and M11 will be connected, and that this is nothing but this is the clock. So here we have a three different clocks. Means it is single clock, like three at the three different nodes. One will activate transistor M1. The same clock will activate transistor M5, and the same clock pulse will activate transistor M9 and M11 in the pull-up network. So this is what the complete structure of the clocked SR latch will look like. Okay, so yeah, so these three are the sections which are the clocked enabled. Okay, now the operation will be same just like the previous one, so I don't need to explain. I think this is homework, you need to do it. Like if clock is activated, then try to calculate the CQ and CQ bar, like lumped capacitance at Q and Q bar. So yeah, so let me label the outputs. Like here we have a Q, here we have a Q bar. So try to calculate the capacitances at Q and Q bar, just like what we did in the previous slide for this clocked SR latch. So this will be really important to understand. Okay, yeah, so initially if you directly see this figure, this will look like a very complex and you need to memorize it, but you don't need to memorize it. Simply you have to go one step by step, and then you will be easily able to draw this kind of circuits or logics. Okay, this like other kind of logic could be like you can have a NAND gate based SR latch. So this is also possible. NAND based SR latch is possible. So you can make, you need to make some necessary changes like series and parallel combination. You need to change it, and you can design the circuit flow for the NAND gate based SR latch. Okay. Similarly, you can also design clogged NAND gate based SR latch. So these all are the possible combinations which you can do it, and easily doable, like you can do it easily. So this is all about the clogged SR latch. So here is some homework. The first question is like design a SR latch based on the NAND gate. Till now we have designed all the logics for the based on the OR gate. So you need to do it like this. Second possibility is like you can also design this latch, NOR gate latch, based on the pseudo NMOS structure. Okay, so in pseudo NMOS structure, what I have to do, I have to, instead of two transistors in the series in the pull-up network, I have to connect a single transistor which is always activated. Okay, we know that NOR gate structure is something like this one. Okay, so this is the structure of NOR. Okay, but if we talk about the pseudo NMOS NOR gate, then in this case, what you have to do, you have to simply use one transistor which will be here in the pull-up side, and in the pull down side you will be like the normal structure whatever you have. So this is how it will look like. Okay, so this is the pseudo and NOR based pseudo and MOSFET NOR logic. So this is nothing but this is the pseudo and MOSFET NOR logic. So you have to use it to design the latch. Okay, so this is important. And yeah, just I have given the hint how to do this, right? How you can do that. Similarly, the another question could be like you can also design pseudo NMOS based on NOR NAND gate. So you can also do that. Okay, NAND based logic, you can make it. And question number 4 is repeat all the above not equations questions. Yeah, so yeah, and all the 3 questions for the clogged logic. So the first 3 is for the without clock, and the 4th one repeat above 3 with the clogged logic. Okay, so this is the homework which you have to do at home, and you have to calculate the several things. Now let us go into more detail about, like, yes, just now we try to understand how these latches are working and how we can implement. Yeah, so the implementation part was really easy. It was not that much difficult, but because we have simply converted the symbolical representation into the simple transistor based structure. Just we have replaced each module with its internal CMOS based logic. So this is what we have done, and this is easily doable, and you have done it.